Welcome to the Cal Phelps Show as we talk about Line College football in Week 6 of the Lions football season. The Scots with an exciting 48-42 overtime win on Saturday afternoon against Southwestern Assemblies of God University. And we'll take a sneak peek into this weekend's game against Texas College at Pioneer Stadium Saturday at 3 o'clock. I'm John Kruger, Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Information and Marketing. I'm joined by Kyle Phelps, head coach of the Scots. Coach, it was an exciting weekend. Come from behind, trailed as much as 35-20 in that game. Came back and tied the game with 46 seconds left. Went for two. It was a controversial decision there by the officials. Michael Bowles did get in, and we won the game in overtime. It's just got to be an exciting week and an exciting time for the Scots football team.
Yeah, it was a huge week for us, and to see our guys prevail and to continue to fight, continue to battle throughout the whole game was just, it's what our team's all about. And it was very rewarding to see those guys come out on the winning side of it. I felt like we trailed by 15 about the whole game. It seemed like we were chasing 15, and worked out in the end. We got a big turnover there towards the end and got a chance to punch it back in. And, whenever we punched it in for two, it seemed like it took forever. I was standing out there just wondering what was going on. But, they gave it to us. And, then we got into overtime. They took the ball first. We blocked that field goal. There was a ton of excitement on the sidelines. And then, we just ran our offense and tried to punch it in one more time, and we did. And, it was a lot of fun, and the crowd was great. The crowd was loud, and it was a very, very enjoyable game for our guys.
That was probably one of the toughest opponents we've played, and definitely the toughest opponents we've defeated. It seemed like with them being such a veteran team and having 300-pound guys up front on defense, wearing them down, or whoever wore down first, was at a disadvantage, and we seemed to wear them down.
Yeah, I think anytime you're as physical as we are on offense and continue to pound the ball throughout the course of a game, it really wears a defense down. And I think, we reaped the rewards of that this week whenever we just continued to consistently pound the football. And we wore them down on their defensive side. And then offensively for them, they just, they kept trying to run the ball a little bit, throw the ball, kind of have a mix there. And, they're an up-tempo offense, and I think maybe that got the best of them too. Plus our defense played really, really well in the second half. In the first half we had some miscues here and there, but it seemed like we really stepped our game up in the second half, and I was very pleased with the way we played in the second half.
The Scots trailed 35-20 with 9:12 left in the fourth quarter, and then still trailed 42-27 with 6:24 remaining. What was going through your thoughts as the coach at that time? I guess was, first of all, get a touchdown, and then you'd have to play defense afterward.
Yeah, I think anytime you're in that situation, you just, we got to score, and then whenever we score, we've got to put our defense in the best spot we can. And we didn't have to necessarily kick onside kicks yet. We still had all our timeouts and everything like that. So that was obviously going through my head, is that we can still kick it deep. We can stop them. We start burning timeouts. And, it was even when we got the fumble, I had talked to Dell and said, basically, if you guys stop them here on first down, I'm calling timeouts to give our offense the most time we can to operate. And, luckily we got a turnover right away, and we didn't have to worry about that. And we were able to use those on offense and, go down and score, and then use it to set up the 2-point play. But, there's a lot of things that go through your head, obviously, throughout the course of the game. But the biggest one is we needed to score first, and then we needed to get a big stop, and we did it.
I guess as a football coach, you're not only thinking about the next play, but you're thinking about situations and what ifs, and because you got to be ready in the seconds notice.
Yeah, and I knew we were down 15, so I knew, we score, we'd just go ahead and go for one, and then we score again, we'll go for the two then, knowing that there may be some time left on the clock, and if we didn't get it there, we're going to have to kick an onside kick and try and set ourselves up for a field goal to win it. So there's a lot of things that go into it. Yes, you're looking at the plays that are going on, but you're also looking forward a little bit too.
We got the ball down close to the goal line. It was 4th and 3 at the 5-yard line, and you called Dwayne's number, and he not only got the first down, but he got the touchdown. How huge was that 4th down play?
Oh, it's big. Anytime you're down there that close, you want to punch it in. and to be at fourth down and still trailing and needing those points, it was a huge play in the game. It was a huge momentum shift to us, and it was a really good play.
Now, when you scored that touchdown, the extra point would put you down by 8 still. Was there any thought of going for 2 at that point?
No, not at that point in time. There's, I wanted to, go for 1, because if you go for 2 there, then you don't get it. You put yourself out 2 scores. So I knew with going for 1, we were still only down 8 points. And then we go score again, and then that's the time we got to go for it. But no, I didn't want to put ourselves out 2 scores there.
Osvaldo Esperetta kicked the extra point, put us down by 8 with 4:11 remaining. There'd been no turnovers in the game, so it was. I guess it was one of those things where they were due, and we were due, hopefully. And Sage Wood created the fumble, and Xavier Story was there to jump on it, and we had the ball at their 37-yard line with just over 3 minutes to go. So we were in good shape at that point.
Yeah, you feel comfortable with the way we run our offense and where we were at in the field and how we were playing when you get to that point. Knowing as well, we have 3 timeouts still at that point in time, and we kept calling the same offensive plays we always call.
Yeah.
We kept running the same offense we always run. We didn't have to do anything different at that point in time. Now, if we would have been back on our own 20 or something like that, we may have to run some different plays and call some different stuff. But being where we were at on the field, we knew we could take our time, we could work our way down there, and it worked out for the best.
Hats off to your coaching staff and this young football team, which we still are, for staying relaxed, doing the things they do best, and getting the ball down there, taking the time, and getting the ball in the end zone with 46 seconds left.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of our staff is, we've been in situations that, call for us to be the mature, the calm, voice and everything like that to our players. And then our players just, they really stepped up. They've been in these situations previously in games, and just we haven't quite got over the hump to finish them, and to do that in our second conference game this year, to get over the hump, to win that first one, get the monkey off our back in conference play, and to do it in front of our home fans was very rewarding. And like I say, our guys were just excited and pumped up, and it was fun to see.
Dwight Robertson hit Jonathan Hendricks with a 6-yard touchdown with 46 seconds left. That put us down 42-40, and we had to go for 2. What was your thinking? Was there any second thoughts? Were you planning on going to Michael Bowles for the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, I mean, when you got a back like Mike, and you got the offensive line that have been pushing those guys around for that fourth quarter, it's hard not to give it to them. So there wasn't a whole lot of thought involved there, and we set up for the first one, and they called timeout, and we came back and we were running the same thing. So it was very, very rewarding to see Mike punch it in too, because they bottled him up for the first half, and that gave Dwayne a chance to run some, and it was rewarding to see him do well in the second half too.
So that the 2-point conversion, it was, if you were at the stadium, the officials had to talk about it, get together and huddle. They decided that he did break the plane of the goal line for the 2-point conversion, so that pretty much forced overtime with 46 seconds left. Now, Sagu won the toss in overtime and elected to take the ball first, which is very unusual. Usually teams or coaches decide that they want the other team to take the ball first so they can see what they have to do when they get the ball. Were you surprised?
Yes, I was surprised. I knew if we won the toss, we were taking defense first, and we've seen that multiple times anytime we've been in overtime or seen overtime over the course of time. But I think that maybe they thought that their offense hadn't been on the field in a little bit, and that their defense was tired, and that was the best chance it gave them to win. I don't know the decision process on that side of it, but I do know that we put our defense out there, and our defense stepped up to their offense, and we had 3 plays that we ran really well, and then they came out for a field goal, and we ran our field goal block and got a chance to block it, and that was obviously the play of the game in a lot of ways, because it gave us a chance that we knew we could win it with a field goal, but obviously we want to run our offense and try and punch it in to get the touchdown, and that's exactly what we did.
And the defense played great that series. I think they had -3 yards on their plays, so it put us in great shape. They had to kick a long field goal, and we blocked it, and that set us up. And Oz, he'd kicked a 49-yarder, which was a record for him in the first quarter, and so we were in pretty good shape at that time, I guess. And I'm sure you probably told the team, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. It's one I told Coach Daniel, obviously, go try and punch it in, run the offense, and, that's what he did. And, we knew comfort-wise we were fine. We knew that we've got a good field goal kicker, that if we had to kick the field goal, we would kick it. And, but the ultimate goal is always to keep handing that ball off and keep scoring points. And, luckily we just kept running our offense, and in the end we just scored one more touchdown, and those guys got to go all celebrate in the end zone. It was pretty fun.
Dwayne Robertson scored the winning touchdown from 12 yards out. Our second win of the season, first in the CSFL, and that improves Lion to 2-4 on the year, 1-1 in conference play. The Scots are now in third place in the conference, one game behind Bacone and one half game behind Arizona Christian. 3 Lion College players were named Conference Players of the Week this morning. Dwayne Robertson, the quarterback, was named the Offensive Player of the Week. He completed 12 of 20 passes, which is 60%, for 118 yards and a touchdown. He also ran for 156 yards on 21 carries, scoring a school record 4 touchdowns in the game. Talk a little bit about Dwayne's performance.
Dwayne had came in and played really, really well. He adds a dimension to our offense with the speed and elusiveness, and I was very, very pleased with how he handled the offense. They took Mike away in the beginning part of the first half there, and bottled him up a little bit, gave Dwayne a chance to pull the ball, run the ball, probably a little more than he has any other time this season, and he did really well. He secured the football. We didn't have any turnovers, and when he needed to make passing games in the passing game, he did, and he connected with some guys, and some other ones were right there on the opportunity to get it, especially Reese down there in the corner of the end zone, just kind of stepped out right as he was catching it, and but Dwayne managed the game well, played really well, and I was very, very pleased with the way he handled himself.
It seems as the season has gone on and the more he's played, of course he's only played 4 games so far, and he's got 388 yards rushing on the year. He gives you that extra dimension of running the ball is so much such a good thing for the offense.
Yeah, it is. Anytime you have dual threats in the offense is a good thing. And he does well. It gives the defensive guys something else that they have to key on, that they have to prepare for. And, that's anytime you can give them something extra to prepare for, takes time away from, the focus of just one thing. So it gives them multiple things they have to prepare for, which in turn I think helps our offense over time.
It's been great. Xavier Story was named the Defensive Player of the game. That's the second time this year he's been the Defensive Player of the Week in the conference. He did it 2 weeks ago against Northland. Story finished with 6 tackles, 5 solos, a tackle for a loss, a pass breakup, and of course the fumble recovery late in the fourth quarter. On the special teams, Osvaldo Espericueta, I can never get that name right, was the Special Teams Player of the Week for the second time this season. He averaged 42 yards a punt on his punt, putting Sagu inside their own 20 twice. He was 4 of 4 of extra points, 2 of 2 of field goals with his record 49-yarder. He has really done a great job with the special teams, hasn't he?
Yes, he does. He's, when we signed him and everything like that, we knew we had a great kicker that we wouldn't have to worry about that side of the game for 4 years anyways. And, he's done well. He hadn't punted in a while, and he punted for us last year, and then he really worked on punting again over the summer and has come back and has done really well in the punting game. And then, field goal wise, we've missed a few here and there, but it was nice to see him drill that 49-yarder early in the game and get some confidence going and get some points on the board for our team. And he's a good player, and we're lucky to have him here as a part of our team.
So So 3 conference players of the week this week. The Scots finished the game with 466 yards of offense, 348 on the ground, and 118 through the air, which is probably pretty much of what you'd like to do as an offense.
Yeah, I think anytime we can run the football, we're going to be happy, and we've been able to do that this year. In pass game, we're just, we get the passing game when we need to get the passing game. If we have to have it more, we'll use it more. But if we're able to continue to run the football and not have to use it, we're going to stick with our game plan and continue to run it. But sometimes some games will cause us to have to throw it a little bit more, and that's what we'll do.
Again, no turnovers. That's 1 turnover in the last 3 games. Great job taking care of the football.
Mm-hmm. It's one thing that we work on. We stress that, and it's been really good ever since the first game of the year, and I've enjoyed watching the offense work on it every week, and I'm glad that we continue to keep on holding on to the football.
Definitely puts us in a position to be in the game in the fourth quarter, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, now let's take a look ahead this week. We take on Texas College at Pioneer Stadium at 3 o'clock on Saturday. That is a huge game for the Scots, as every game is, I guess. But we're in a position now to continue to make noise in the conference and push toward that possible conference championship. And when you're playing teams that you should win, I guess on paper, or have a good chance to win, this is definitely one of them. Texas College will be no pushover by any means, but they are 0-4 on the season and 0-1 in conference play. But their conference game last Saturday was against Pecan, where they lost 35-26, and the Scots obviously have lost to Pecan, so not going to be an easy win this week. But you take on a Texas College team that has yet to win this year, and those are the teams sometimes you have to worry about, don't you, Coach?
Anytime you play a team that's well coached, you have to worry about it. And Coach down there does a fantastic job with his guys of getting them prepared, getting them ready to play. They've played some tough opponents on their schedule leading up to us, so they've played some very tough out-of-conference games, and they're a good football team. And they beat us last year, so there's no saying that they should be an easy win or anything like that. They beat us, so we've got to go prove that we have the ability to beat them this week, and that starts with a good week of practice, and that's what we'll get to work on Tuesday whenever we go back to it. And there's definitely anytime you get ready for a conference team, you got to do a lot of preparation, and we've got to prep just like we prepped every other game, and that's what we'll do.
Now, last year, Texas College had a mobile quarterback. They had a very talented and offense, and they were able to move the ball quite well. What are we expecting? Our defense, what are we expecting from their offense this year?
A lot of the same. Mobile quarterback, very athletic guys, both in the receiving game and at the running back spots. Big offensive line that'll move our try and move our guys. But they're going to be they spread the ball out. They run the ball some. They pass the ball some. So yeah, they're a good football team. They've just played a lot of good opponents up to this point, which has caused them to be 0-4. And they could have very easily won some of those games in there. And it's one that's offensively for them. We just got to be prepared on defense. We've got to be prepared for the spread, mobile quarterbacks and things, which we've played this year already a few times. So we've just got to put in a really good game plan and get ready to go.
Texas College has losses to Lane College, Louisiana College, McMurray University, and of course Pecan last week. Their leading rusher is Santonio Mapp. He's rushed for 141 yards, but they've run a slew of running backs this season. Sean Stell is their leading quarterback. They've played, looks like 3 of them this year. Stell has completed 58.8% of his passes, thrown for 543 yards and 4 touchdowns. And so he has shown that he can definitely move the football. Are they up tempo, or are we going to look at a team that huddles like we do? And
it's always tough to see on film. I think last year they huddled, but you never know from season to season. We've always got to prepare. As a team may go on up tempo on us, I don't know for sure if they huddle or not huddle, but I would assume they huddle. based on I think they did last year. But we prepare like teams go no huddle on us and no up tempo and stuff like that because that's where our conditioning comes in, and we've got to continue to condition throughout the full year, and that's what we do. We get our guys ready to go each week for anything they may see, and I'm sure there'll be some wrinkles in their offense at some point in time, either that they've done or haven't done that we may or may not have seen. But that's the things we got to prepare for and think that could happen, and we'll get ready for that.
Now, their defense, how does it size up against our offense?
It's one that they play a four-man front as well. They're not 300 pounds across the line, but they do got some big D tackles that are above 300. It's one that I think physically they're going to be physical. Anytime you have those big bodies up there, it's they're trying to plug gaps, and we're trying to move them out of gaps, and we got to continue to run the same offense no matter who or what we're playing, and I think defensively they're going to have athletes. They're going to have guys that can run around and make plays, and they're a very athletic team when you watch them on film, and we've got to be more physical than they are, and let them try and use their athleticism to beat us, but we just got to be more physical than they are.
All right. This week's game is sponsored by Carter Ford State Farm. It'll also be a pink out game, and we ask all the fans that come to the game to dress in pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is what the Scots are supporting this month in the month of October. Of course, the Scott coaches wore pink last week, and they'll continue to do that this week. Players will also wear pink, and we're asking for donations as the fans come into the gate for the game on Saturday at 3 o'clock. So Saturday game, Texas College, a chance to go over 500 in the Central States Football League. Scots with a big contest, and we hope the fans will come out and join us as the Scots continue toward a conference championship. This is John Kruger thanking you for watching the Kyle Phelps Show, and we hope that you have a great week, and we'll see you at the stadium on Saturday.